So welcome to therapy, guys. My name's Adam Bates. Um, Thank you for coming today. Before we get to the main problem and what's brought you to therapy today, I'd like to just get to know you a little bit as people, like how you spend your time. Just get to know you a bit. So.
I'll go ahead and start. So I'm 35 years old. She's 35 too. I'm a lawyer, and how I like to spend my time, I usually like to work and stay busy, usually with that. And if I'm not doing that, my extra time would be spent with my partner.
And 35 as well. I'm a teacher and I really love my job. And yeah, mostly just spending time with her is what I like to do. So.
Any hobbies?
Hobbies, I like cooking. I'm, I do a lot of the cooking because she is out later, so.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you for that. And so, I guess the first thing I'd like to try and get a handle on then is what has brought you to therapy today? What's the main issue? I guess I'd like to get an account of it from both of you, first of all, so I can understand where we're at to begin with.
Yes, I'll go ahead and go first. What I grow that I've always picked she wants to be so yes, exactly. So
And that makes it such can help me understand just exactly what meaning it does have for you.
Sure. I think for me, it's more like I feel that if we're a lesbian couple, that we should be able to adopt these kids that don't have families and parents already. And it's always been in my heart. It's always been my passion. To want to take care of someone who doesn't, or give to someone who doesn't have the opportunity to have parents and have that love of a family, and they're just in foster cares or in adoption centers. I can't picture myself doing anything else. I can't picture myself having a kid knowing that there's kids already out there without homes.
So what I'm hearing is it's not just about having the kid per se. It sounds like an important element of it is giving to the child who doesn't already have parents. Is that an equally important part of it for you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's just as much as I want to adopt, it's that I want to give them everything. I mean, like I mentioned, I know it sounds redundant, but I can't picture myself just having a kid when I can give all my love and all my care to someone that is out there that needs it.
You want to give them the chances in life.
Yeah, the same opportunity. Sorry, yeah.
Okay, is there anything, I feel like I've got a reasonably clear picture of that image. Is there anything else you'd like to add or anything else I should know or be aware
of? No, that's basically it for me on my side.
Okay, well thank you for that. Now I don't really necessarily to specifically respond to that, but if you could just tell me in your own words how you see the issues and the problems that you're confronting.
Well, I mean, I've always known that this is really important to her, and I love that about her. I love that she, cares so much about these kids, because I care about about kids too. I'm surrounded by them every day. But for me, I think the switch happened about 8 months ago when my sister, she became pregnant, and it just brought a joy to me to hear, all her stories, and I'm always, me and her are very close, so I know everything that happens at her appointments, all of that, and it's just so beautiful to me, and I feel like that's what I need to do in life that I didn't know, I needed until I saw it happening. So, yeah.
Right, so it's not as if you just changed your mind. You saw this amazing experience that your sister had, and you want to have
Yeah, it's also I feel like it's just how I've been brought up to want a family for myself and to want that I guess maternal feeling, and I know that we can achieve it with an adopted child. I've known that because that's what we've kind of I guess talked about in the past. Not we didn't go into it very much, but like I said, I always knew it was important to her, so I was gonna allow it. But I feel like just my family, what we've been taught and what we value is just, having that closeness, that relationship with our kids, and yeah, it's something new that I hope that she can understand.
It sounds like family is really important to you, and it's a big influence on your thinking. Would that be correct?
Very much so. Everything I do is, because of my family somehow. This whole topic came about because my sister, and I would love to also share the experiences that she's sharing with me while she's going through this process. I would also love to share those with her as well.
Give that back.
Yeah, give that back, because that's how close we are. That's how I would like it to be now. And I do kind of feel bad that I'm changing, her path, I guess. But yeah, I hope that we can,
Somehow work it out.
Yeah.
So, just let me try and clarify my understanding. So, on the one hand, you were saying that sort of it's always been a really big, important thing in your family for you to have children.
Mm-hmm.
And you were saying that was always a big thing in your family, which is a really big influence on you, obviously very important to you. But at the same time, you also said that initially, when you were initially together, you were not against adopting rather than having your own baby. And that has just changed since you saw all the great experiences that your sister had. So I'm just wondering, when you said that it's always been a big thing in your family for you to have your own children in the future, was that definitely has to be biological children, or could you just speak a bit more about that?
I don't know. I don't know if my family would care if it was not biological or not. It's just having kids in general. That's why that's why we're together, because I knew that she wanted kids in the future, and that's a value of mine. But it's honestly just the feeling that I get now, that overwhelming feeling that I get now to be a mother, and that's what it comes down to. Just it's something that I feel like I would be missing out on if I didn't hold the child myself. Yeah.
Okay, so could you help me understand that a bit more? So if you didn't have your own child, you would be missing out on that. Can you help me understand, to you, what is the difference between having your own child as opposed to adopting?
Well, based on all the things that my sister's telling me, just the feeling of the of the baby inside, all the appointments that she goes to, just everything. It just seems like a beautiful process to me, and yeah, I think just knowing that I had something to do with, bringing life to this child. I think that's really what it is.
So it seems like that this is the main issue, and you are saying very much that you want to have your own biological child, and you want to adopt and not have your own biological child. So we're kind of stuck in Seem like there's an easy solution to that because you can't necessarily satisfy both unless you do both, I guess. Or is that not something that you'd be just occurring to me now? Is that not you just definitely want to have the one child?
I've never seen myself do anything else, so I'm not sure. I guess I'm like a planner. That's what I see myself as planning everything, and everything has to be perfect, everything has to align. If I have a goal, I have to accomplish it. So it's even just her considering giving birth is like, it's making me lose track. Like, I don't want to lose, like, I kind of want to stick to my goal. So I've never seen anything else besides it. I'm not sure if I understood your question right, but yeah, I've never thought about doing both. I've only thought about, this is what I want to do and this is what I have to do.
Okay, so I'm hearing it's obviously that's always been your goal, but also a part of it is that you have these plans for your life in place, and you want to definitely avoid changing those.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I love her years, and we're together for 4 years, and we've been married for 4 years. So, I love her. I just don't really see myself doing anything else. I don't want to break this up either.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm kind of struggling with the idea of doing anything else. But I know that I want to keep her. I also don't want to mess up my plans or the course of life that I had.
I guess to add to that, we're both very career oriented. I know that hers is takes more of her time, but also, we are very busy, and so I think for now, just one child is probably what we're thinking, unless in the future we can, we decide that we have the resources, the time to do so. But we're 35 years old. We feel like it's time to be parents, at least to one. So for your question regarding having more than one child, I don't think that's an option for us at this moment. I don't think we can think that far in advance. So
that makes sense. So it's not something you're categorically ruling out, but it's not something which totally makes sense.
That's what I think. I don't know if she just wants one or more.
I think the same. I mean, just basically what she said is right now we're kind of just thinking of the one kid. We haven't really thought about how many kids in total we want to have. So we aren't sure if adopting one and having one biologically would be an option at this moment in our lives.
I guess what I'm thinking is, obviously the two things are adopting a kid that's not your own biological child, and having your own biological child which is not an adopted kid. Obviously these two things are directly in conflict, right? So you can't do both at the same time. But what I'm trying to understand, and I feel like I haven't quite got it yet, is like underneath that, at a deeper level, what are the sort of, it's difficult to phrase, what are the sort of deeper needs, the deeper values that make that so important to both of you? And although we can't satisfy having an adopted kid and having a biological kid at the same time, could there be some way to still both satisfy your needs and desires at a deeper level? Does that make any kind of sense?
Yeah. Well, I'm so close to my family that I would want that kind of connection to my child, and I feel like with an adopted child, I don't have those inherited connections.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't look like me. They may not act like me. I think I've never I've never mentioned that before to her, but just that fear of, I don't know where that child was before, what they're like, the adopted child. So that's kind of my fear.
So you're afraid
of not being as connected to this child as I would be if it was mine.
So you don't think it would be, you think that it wouldn't be possible to have the same depth of emotional connection to the child if it wasn't your own biological child?
I'm not sure, and that's kind of, where I'm stuck into it, because I want to, I always like to go with what she wants, because I know she has this plan, and most of the time I am for that plan as well, because so that's my thing. Like, that's my conflict, where I want to give her what she wants, but there are little things that would make me happier if they were, if it was my biological child.
Okay, so I'm hearing, I guess, that and obviously it's clear to see that you both have a great love for each other, and you're both very committed to each other and want to try and explore any options you can to make this work for the other person. Right now, I'm hearing that you want to do everything you can to make her happy, but at the same time, you don't want to sell yourself out. You don't want to give up on you want.
I just want to make sure that that I don't regret anything.
And right now, when you were talking about, you said, I think you used the phrase little things that you would miss out on if it wasn't your own biological child. Could you tell me a bit? I guess I'm a little confused, because initially it sounded like it was extremely important, but then you said little things. I don't mean to criticize you, but could you just talk about that a bit more?
I guess I didn't phrase it correctly. I feel like I am trying to make things smaller than they are, because I want to change my mind to be, to do what she wants to do, because I know that I would still be happy. I'm a teacher, so I have a love for all kids, and I know that I could love an adopted child just as much. But it also scares me to think that maybe there would be something missing in that connection with the child, because it doesn't have any, it doesn't have anything of me, and also just I would feel like I would be missing out on being a woman, I guess. That's not the correct term, but for not carrying a child and experiencing, the doctor's appointments, the everything that my sister does.
Do you feel that that's important to you in terms of your self-identity as a woman?
Yes, I do.
So I guess you said before little things, but what I'm getting now is it's not really little things, but more like you are trying to minimize it to increase your chances of compromising on this. Is that right?
I feel like, I like to do that as much as possible for her.
Which is very honourable and a great testament to you.
Thank you.
But earlier, a few minutes ago, you also said, I'm just trying to understand you as well as I can. So now you're talking about this, the great importance of having a close emotional bond with your child, and you think that it seems like you feel like ideally you really want that to be your own biological child to have that. But just a few minutes before that, you also mentioned, I can see that's very important to you, but a few minutes before that, you also mentioned, whereas if you adopt a child, you don't know, you are, I can't remember exactly what you said, but you're scared about, you don't know like where it's from or those other things. Is that, could you tell me a bit more about that? I'm getting that the emotional bond thing with the child is very important to you. Is this also equally important, or could you just tell me a bit more about that?
I think it's just because I haven't done a lot of the research on it. You know, she's always been the one to know how it goes about. You know what what the process is to adopt, and I feel like I'm not in that process. So you know, I don't know what it entails. What if we, you know, how we choose a child, how we, you know, things like that. And maybe because I'm not sure of these things, I don't feel like there could be. I don't know how the bonding experience is when you're trying to adopt a child. Does that make sense?
So it's not so much a fear of the unknown in terms of where that baby's coming from. It's still about the same bonding with the baby.
I think, yeah, I think so.
So would it be right to say that that's, it seems like that's the most important issue for you, the sort of emotional intimacy and closeness and bonding with the baby. Is that really the key concern?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. And so, just to recap, for you, the main issue, the main concern was that you feel like that if you went along with this plan and had the biological baby, that you wouldn't be giving, you wouldn't be providing this baby without parents with all the great opportunities in life that it wouldn't otherwise have. And that's also a long-term plan of yours, which you really don't want to change.
Yeah.
Is that, could you just tell me a bit more about like what's behind that, what's underneath that? And is that the only issue? Is there anything else, or it's just that?
I don't think there's anything else. I think I'm just very like I have a goal and I have to commit to it and I have to accomplish it, and I feel like adopting a kid, it's always been part of, it's not just a goal, it's like a dream, it's something that I wanted to do. It's always been in me. So even when we got together, like, you know, I kind of just threw it out there since the beginning of our relationship, like, you know, would you be willing to adopt, like, or, you know, first, would you want a kid if you get married? And obviously she wanted kids, she loves kids, and she used to be so open to it, and now it's her sister had this baby, she's kind of like ranting off this idea that she wants to have a baby. So it's, I guess it's kind of, I feel like I'm losing a little control of my life if, you know, if I try to go with her idea. Even though I love her and I still want to be with her, I feel like I'm losing somewhat of control.
Okay, so now I'm hearing, initially you were talking about how it's very important to you, and it sounds like it's a part of your self-identity of wanting to give to these underprivileged children. But now you're also talking a lot about losing control. It sounds like that's very important to you as well. I mean, I'm not saying you should do this, but just as a thought experiment, just hypothetically, if that were to happen, how would that be? What would it be that would be so challenging for you about losing control in that way?
I mean, I guess you can say that I feel like I would be missing an important piece in my life. Like, we decided to, if we're speaking hypothetically, if she had a baby and gave birth, it kind of, I mean, I wouldn't be adopting. It's kind of, I'm missing an important piece that was supposed to be there.
So if your actual real life it wouldn't match up with your ideal life, what you want to do.
Basically, yeah. Like, what I had in mind is kind of just a dream, which is weird because that's not what it is for my life. Like, I wanted to go to school, I wanted to get educated, I did it. I had a dream, I wanted to be a lawyer, I did it. Wanted to pass the exam, I did it. Like, it's like I have dreams, and I guess having this dream, like, I always wanted to adopt and longing for this so passionately, that not having that, I guess I would feel like I didn't commit to something that I've always wanted.
You would feel like you weren't being true to yourself.
Yes.
Okay. So I guess it seems like there's kind of two, now that we've thought about it a bit more deeply, that there's actually two big concerns for you there. The first being that it's very important for you to be giving to the underprivileged children. But also, in addition to that, if you didn't go through with this long-term plan that has always been your dream in life and that you've always been very upfront with from the beginning, then you would feel like you weren't being true to yourself as well.
Yeah, I guess you can say that. I didn't.
Well, so I don't want to tell you, but I mean, is that right? Or if not,
no, you're
how
right. I just didn't. I didn't see it to be so strongly, but it is.
Yeah, does that feel like that's?
It is. It's equally as important. I mean, I know I say that I want to give to a kid and I want to give them the same opportunities, but it's also, if I don't commit to what I initially always wanted, I feel like I'm losing a little piece of myself, if that makes any sense. Yeah.
I think I understand. So for you, it's if you don't have the biological baby of your own, you're very concerned about not having the same high levels of intimacy and bonding with the baby.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a teacher. I see kids every day that are not my own, and I love them, and I, care for them. I am just not sure. Like, I don't know if I could ever feel. I mean, I know I could. I love kids too much to not be able to feel that, but I just don't want to think that I could have missed out on something. And I know that that's a huge thing for her, to not miss out on something. I want her to be happy. I want her to get what she wants, yeah.
I'm getting a big sense that you both want, of course, what you want yourself, but you both also want the partner to be happy and have what they want as well, right? Or not right, I don't know.
I'm conflicted because I originally told her that was fine with me, and it is fine, but now I'm feeling this sense of I want to be a mother, and if that doesn't happen, like a biological mother, and if that doesn't happen, would I be missing something?
And how do you think that would feel? Again, just hypothetically, if that were the case, if that did happen, how do you think you would feel about it in the future? Say 5 years, 10 years down the road.
I feel like my sister just had the baby, so just these feelings have only been there for the time that she's been pregnant. So I guess I haven't discovered enough, what it meant to me. But I think just it was so surprising to me when I got those feelings of that I wanted to be a mother. That it was even hard to bring it up to her in general, because I knew that we had a plan, but these feelings just came, and
It was unforeseen.
very much so. I don't think she would have started the relationship with me if I hadn't wouldn't have been okay if I hadn't said that I was okay with adopting a child. So.
Yeah. But we've established it's not just like you just suddenly changed your mind, but because you had this, unexpected experience and it aroused such deep emotions.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking about what do you guys think that a possible solution might look like? What are the options here?
I mean, we could adopt. That's always been our plan. We could.
So that's one. Your face doesn't look very happy as you say that. How would you feel if that was what happened?
I just feel like I'm a little more indecisive than her, and I feel like she knows what she wants. So maybe she should, get what she wants, because she knows exactly why and how and what and when. And for me, it was just a new thing,
And I guess a different way of saying it is, if that was what you decided to do in the future, would that be because you love her so much that you've decided to go along with that because you want her to be happy and you value her happiness as much as your own, or almost as much as your own? Or would it be because you've kind of given up on what you really wanted?
That's a difficult question. I don't know if I know the answer to that yet.
Well, you can take a minute to. I mean, there's no rush. You can think about it.
I still feel like I would be missing something. And I know that you feel like you'd be missing something too, but
How do you feel listening to it, explaining about this?
I would always get upset every time she brings up that she wants to give birth, and just listening to her, I mean, just kind of breaks my heart a little, just because I've never really heard her say that she'd be kind of missing something. I actually never heard that at all. Like, she would be missing, some type of connection, or just the fact that she wouldn't give birth. I've never heard that. She's just kind of been like, oh, I want to have birth. She kind of infers that she wants to give birth.
So it's helped you kind of understand a bit more clearly where she's coming from.
Yeah, I think I'm just so used to it. I think she's used to just kind of always making changes to kind of what I think or what I want. So just hearing her that now, like listening to her making a change for what I want, and it's she'd be missing something too. So I never thought about it like that. It kind of breaks my heart a little.
Maybe it was my fault because I haven't been so clear about it. I just drop subtle little, hints, I guess. So I'm sorry that I wasn't open about how I felt about it. I just, like I said, like I know it's her plan, so I don't want to mess it up. But I also kind of want to add in my little opinion as well.
So yeah, you've conveyed how you don't want her to sacrifice her plan, her dream, but you also, if you went along with that course of action, you would feel like you're missing some part of yourself. And could you just speak a little? So you're saying about how it breaks your heart. It's the first time you've had her speak like this. What's your reaction to that?
Just, I mean, I've always thought that she's happy. She kind of always tries to make me happy. I try to make her happy too. I mean, that's why we're here. We're trying to make it work. But I mean, I've always thought she was happy if she went along with what I wanted, because I feel like, I just thought, she was open to it before.
That's the usual dynamic of the relationship.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's the usual dynamic of the relationship where she kind of just tries to make me happy, and I think that she's happy as well. I mean, she was open to adopting before, so I would have thought that her deciding to adopt now, like if we come to an agreement and it's adoption, I didn't think that she would be missing something. I would have thought, oh, she was open to it before, so she's not really missing anything because she wanted it before too. But just listening to her, I mean, it does. I've never heard that side that she feels like she's been missing something. That she would be missing something.
Yeah, not that she has been missing something in the past, but that,
yeah.
I would just like to clear up that I've never felt like I've been missing anything,
right.
And so that's why this was hard for me, because it was, it is, it was hard for me to even bring up to her, because it was the first time that I felt like I couldn't go along with what she said, because usually I do, and that's why we've been together for so long. And I'm happy. I'm happy with her being happy. That's the way it's always been. So it's just this time. I just want to make that clear so that you don't think that I've been hiding my feelings.
Yeah, no. The sense I got was that this is a sudden, recent thing which has happened, which has really fundamentally shifted how you feel about the situation.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that before.
Yeah.
And it's new information, new realization for you.
Yeah, just the part that she would be missing something if she adopted, not that she's been missing something. Not that you've been missing anything, but that she would be missing something if she adopted. It breaks my heart when it broke my heart when I heard that.
Okay, so I'm guessing, just going back to what you said a second ago, I'm getting that in general I guess it's your character, your personality, you're generally quite flexible, and you like to obviously please your partner. And that's worked quite well for the past 8 years, right? But you're feeling like this maybe is an issue that you can't budge on? Or is that too strongly phrased?
I'm not sure.
You need some more time to mull it over.
I think so.
Where are you at now? Now that because obviously this is some quite heavy new information, new feelings that you've just been exposed to for the first time today. So how are you? Where are you at now? Has that changed how you feel at all from the start, or what are you thinking and feeling now, having heard this new?
I mean, like, I mean, me wanting the desire to want to adopt a child, I mean, it hasn't disappeared like all of a sudden right now. But hearing her saying that she would be missing like out on motherhood and just having this carrying a child, in her, just missing this experience, she would be missing on something so important like that that's been around in her family traditionally. I mean, it does. I also don't want to make her unhappy. Like, I don't want her to just. I know that she's been doing it. She always pleases me or wants to do what I say, what I want to make me happy. But just hearing her, I also don't want to sacrifice her happiness by adopting a child. I'd like to see where we can meet. I know I don't want to be unhappy, but I don't want her to be unhappy either.
Yeah, it's a great credit to you both. I think that you don't want, neither of you really wants to give up on your own cherished dream, but it seems like it's extremely important to you as well to make the other person happy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're about running out of time for today, but if perhaps you would like to come in again next week, perhaps we could explore more just what possibilities there might be to somehow both satisfy your needs, or what accommodations, what you might be willing to do and not do, not in terms of just giving up what you want, but for your partner's happiness as well. How does that sound?
I think I need to take a little time
Right, you need to think about it as
to
well.
really evaluate, because it's such a new feeling for me. So just evaluate what my definition of being a mother is, compared to hers, and see if that, is important to me, if it changes how I feel about, what motherhood is to me. So, yeah.
Okay, does that sound okay then? We'll
Yes.
schedule another appointment for next week and see what we can figure out.
Definitely.
I think so.
Okay, well thank you both. You're very brave to come in here with us. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much
Thank
for your
you
time.
so much.
I really hope the recording worked.
Oh no.